Good Omens 2019, the TV show starring Michael Sheen and David Tennant, is adapted from the book Good Omens written by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. This television show is adapted by Neil Gaiman, written by Neil Gaiman, and created by Neil Gaiman. And it's really good. There's a huge cast in this TV show. There's so many people that I was surprised to see show up, whether it was just for a couple of minutes or whether it was for some legitimate roles. John Hamm plays Gabriel in this, which is awesome. Frances McDormand is the voice of God, which is really cool. And then there's just a whole host of people that show up in this TV show, which is only 6 episodes long. And I imagine if you have watched it or if you have yet to, then whenever you do or have, you would be surprised by just how many people show up in this one, how many familiar faces. It's kind of insane. But in terms of the actual quality of the TV show, I thought they handled it really well. It was a very entertaining show, and it had a very specific style and tone to it that was just really fun to watch. I just really enjoyed the dialogue and just all of these characters interacting with each other. That was just loads of fun to me, and I just kind of like their attitude towards the apocalypse. I like the idea of this angel and this demon trying to stop the oncoming storm. And by the way, no spoilers for any of this show in this review, but the basic premise is that an angel and a demon team up together and they try to stop Armageddon, and let's see how that works out in these 6 episodes. And it's just loads of fun. I think Michael Sheen is really great as this angel, and he just the way that he plays that part is just so very specific, and it wasn't quite what I was expecting, and he was just way more interesting than I expected him to be, and he did a really good job with that. And David Tennant is incredible as Crowley. He's great, and I just love him in that part, and the two of them together are just perfect. For our main characters, they have such a great dynamic together, and their relationship is really interesting, so that's handled really well. And it's just kind of the stuff going on is all balanced well. It's very differently paced from most shows, and like I said before, it's only 6 episodes, so this whole story takes place and is resolved in those 6 episodes, you know. So it plays out a little differently than I would expect. There's lots of elements of things that are put in here that I would not expect a normal TV show to focus on. I would expect a normal TV show that I would be more accustomed to focus a little bit more on Michael Sheen and David Tennant, but this show focuses on the things that it wants you to see so that everything comes together and makes sense, and that's not a bad thing. It plays, and this really shouldn't surprise me that much, but it plays a bit more like a book, I would say, in that it has some slightly tangential things that it wants you to know about. So we're going to spend about 20 minutes in this section of time, and then you know about this, and then this adds to that, and now you understand more about these characters' dynamics, and then you know more about this person's backstory, and that's all balanced pretty well. There were a couple of times when I found myself a little bit less interested in what was going on in, say, the past than what was going on in whatever future or current timeline event was happening. That only happened a couple of times. That was a little bit towards the front middle area, but for the majority of it, I was just thoroughly entertained, and that's primarily to the writing, the dialogue, the interactions of these characters, and how well that's all handled amidst this rather interesting plot. I just like their take on God and the devil and angels and all this stuff, and it doesn't matter if you're religious or what have you going into this TV show. It's just a good show. So I had no personal hang-ups, which is good because I was able to just enjoy this show as a good show because it is a good show. And by the way, the intro is really cool. I just got really into that intro. It's like I want to say it's like 90 seconds long or something, but it's just lots of fun, and it's a cute little thing. So I just thought I'd mention that. But yeah, the actual story of this one is just kind of an interesting take on Armageddon, and I like how certain elements play out, and certain things, the way that they develop and the way that that it just comes around is just very surprising and just very engaging, and that I just thought that it's handled really well. And there were only a couple of bits where I found myself just a little less interested than normal, and that was towards the front middle, like episodes 2, 3, which were solid episodes. It's just I found myself enjoying all the other episodes more just because it had more of stuff that was current to what was happening, or just had more of, David Tennant and Michael Sheen, who are just great. Also, the soundtrack in this is great. There's a certain band that is clearly a favorite of this TV show, and once you watch it, then you'll know. And I really appreciated that because I do quite like that band. And as I said before, an absolutely fantastic cast. So many people that you could just keep naming. I expected it to stop at some point, and it just never did. Right up until that final episode, there's just so many great actors in this show, and that really helps. Overall, this series is really solid. There's just some really engaging writing, engaging characters, and just a wonderful feel and vibe to this show that I really enjoyed for its 6-episode run. The casting was fantastic for the majority of the characters. Even the child characters didn't really detract anything from this story, and everything's balanced in such a fun and energetic and entertaining way that it makes for a really solid, enjoyable miniseries that I was really quite happy with. And I am going to give Good Omens, the TV show, a rating of 8.75 out of 10. So if you join me again, then I will be having lots of reviews out for new TV shows that are coming out, stuff that's been happening recently. Should have a Veep review for Season 7 coming out really soon, or already out. And then I've got reviews for Black Mirror coming out pretty soon. The new season, Season 5, we're going to be reviewing each of those 3 episodes individually, probably spoiler-filled so that I can really dive into what's going on. More Doctor Who reviews. I'm going to be ranking all 11 episodes of Series 11 soon. I've got lots of stuff coming out, as much as I can pack out. I'll even talk about the Jadoon if I can. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that stuff, then feel free to check it out. A little bit about this show. I was kind of looking forward to this show. I didn't know if it was going to be good or not. I really hoped it would. And I just am really glad I enjoyed it because it was just a lot of fun to watch. And I highly recommend you watch it if you just want to have fun, because this TV show, it's just some good fun. It's not the best thing I've seen on television this year. Far from it. But it's just a really entertaining show, and I really hope that this show is earns respect from people, because it's just a really entertaining show, and I just really was happy to see it. I'm glad that it turned out so well, and if Neil Gaiman continues to work in TV at all, I will be happy to check out what he has. I'm also very interested to see what he's written and look into that a little bit more, because I know he's a very famous author for apparently good reason, because this is a really good TV show. So anyway, that's enough about that. Stuff in the works, and hope you enjoyed this review. If you have seen this TV show, then what did you think about it? Feel free to let me know down below. If not, are you planning to? What are your thoughts? Anything you want to say, I'm happy to strike up a conversation. But with that said, that's what's going to do it for now, folks. So, thank you for watching. Take care, and have a lovely week.